Hi everybody, happy Friday morning. Welcome to Andrea Bucket Cooks Kitchen. I am Andrea Bucket and today I'm excited to share some delicious vegan recipes with you today and for the social movement at Weston. I hope everyone's doing well and keeping well over these past few weeks, and I hope you've really enjoyed these cooking demos. It's a beautiful day outside, but we are going to cook in the kitchen today and make some delicious spring recipes. If you're there and you're watching, please let me know that you're there. Just, say hello, let me know who you are, where you're watching from, maybe what you're having for lunch. If, often when I teach classes, it's easier to have a little bit of interaction so I know what level people are at in terms of cooking. So today I'm going to show you some delicious vegan recipes. And some of you might be vegan and some of you might be just dabbling in, enjoying more plant-based foods. Regardless of your diet, these recipes are delicious and I'm excited to share them with you. So ask questions if you have them, because I've got Trevor on the other side of the camera to relay those questions to me, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you haven't seen my website, check out andreabucket.com. I have a great newsletter that goes out once a week full of delicious recipes. And these recipes they are on the website, Andrea Bucket Cooks. So after this, head on over there and you can grab them and you can print them out and try them for yourself. All right, shall we get started?
Sure.
Anyone out there saying hello?
We've got quite a few people watching.
Fantastic.
But right now, only Anne from Montreal is waving here, saying she's waiting for your vegan recipes.
Excellent. Yes, so vegan food, plant-based foods, we've seen an explosion in that part of the market over the last 5 years, I'd say. Way back when I used to work at a health food store, so I'm really familiar with these ingredients and I love to use them. Cooking vegan isn't that much different than cooking, say, a meat-based diet, but there are a few ingredients to learn about that will give you flavor, that will give you texture, things that you might miss if you're in a little bit of a transition diet. But like anything, it's a very small learning curve, and if you're a creative human being, as I am, it's fun to explore and try those different ingredients. So let's get started. We are going to get started with a creamy vegan pasta with spring vegetables. I've done some of the prep ahead of time because I didn't think you needed to know how to boil pasta, but I will talk a little bit about best practices, how to make it taste delicious for that. But we're going to start with the sauce, okay? So the sauce there's lots of ways to do creamy vegan sauces. Obviously, we're not going to use eggs, we're not going to use dairy, we're not going to use cheese or anything like that. So a couple ways to get a creamy base for a sauce is to use nut butter, like a cashew butter, something fairly neutral, or to use a silken tofu. So we are going to actually use a little bit of both, because what I like about this dish is, because it's a pasta dish, I like to figure out ways to add a little bit more plant-based protein. So this is silken tofu, and tofu is, there's a lot of different varieties of tofu in terms of texture. There's typically 3 types of tofu that you find at the grocery store. You get extra firm, you get firm, and you get silken tofu. So the silken tofu really just has more moisture in it, and it's great to make things like chocolate mousse, vegan chocolate mousse, great for salad dressings, great for this pasta sauce, great for so many things. And it adds just a punch of protein to this pasta dish. So we're going to go in there with our tofu, our silken tofu. And tofu, it's not a complicated way to make it. What they do is they take soy milk and they compress all the protein and carbohydrates into a block. And so the more moisture that gets pushed out of it, the firmer it becomes. And I love firm tofu as well. I love frying it up in stir fries or making it in a sheet pan bake. You can make buffalo tofu, lots of different things to do with it. So we're going to go in with a little bit of cashew butter here. And this is going to add that richness, a little bit of fattiness to this cream sauce. Okay, you don't really want to substitute something like peanut butter here. You want this to be a fairly neutral tasting nut butter. So you could use you could use sunflower seed butter. You wouldn't want to use something like tahini here because again, it has a very forward flavor, and we're not looking for that sort of forward nutty flavor here. We're actually looking to sort of incorporate that just for the creaminess. Just gotta get rid of nut butter on my hand. All right. Okay, next up we are going to put in nutritional yeast. So let's talk about nutritional yeast. It is a very common pantry staple in the vegan kitchen. And I'll show you what it looks like. Can you get a shot of that, Trevor? It's a powder, and a lot of vegan, no cheese sauces, Parmesan cheese, vegan style uses nutritional yeast. Okay, and it's chock full of B vitamins. And one of my favorite ways to actually use it is to put it on popcorn. It adds a really beautiful cheesy flavor. So we are going to add 3 tablespoons of the nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is chock full of B vitamins. And we're going to use this in both of our recipes today. And it gives that sort of umami flavor, that flavor that you often get from meat-based products or Worcestershire sauce, things that have give you that 5th sense of umami, that flavor punch. So we've got that. Now we're going to go in with some lemon juice. Lemon juice, really important here. I like to use fresh lemon juice because it's just so much tastier. And we're going in with 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Oops, make sure you don't get any pips in there. And then I'm going to go in with another favorite, some miso. So I'm going to talk about miso in a bit, but first I just want to check in and see if you guys have any questions as I've been going along here.
No questions, but Tamitha is with us from Calgary. She eats primarily vegan, so she's excited about these.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. So this is a traditional miso, and miso is another form of soy that's been fermented, and it has a load of flavor. Most of us are familiar with it as in miso soup, but again, it's going to add a richness and a saltiness to this sauce that it really requires, because again, when you don't add cheese adds a lot of saltiness. So we're not putting cheese in, we're going to use miso for a little bit of flavor. Onion powder and garlic powder. And then I'm just going to head to the fridge to grab my vegetable stock. About half a cup of vegetable stock here. Oh, sorry, no, 3/4 of a cup. It's okay, it is my recipe, I just don't have it memorized.
Sam from Toronto's with us.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah, Erica is also from Toronto. She's with us as well.
Hi, Erica. Thanks for hopping on and thanks for saying hello, you guys. I love to know that you're on the other side of the camera and I'm not just talking into the void of YouTube. All right, so that's basically it. Now, for your pasta for this, we're going to use an Orchietti pasta, but any short pasta will work. Orchietti looks like little ears. This is our Black Label brand, so it's a premium pasta right from Italy. Although, did you know that the durum wheat that we produce in Canada gets exported to Italy, made into delicious pasta, and then sent back because we grow some of the most delicious wheat in the world? All right, so we're going to give this a blitz. Now, the last thing you're going to need for this, because when you cook your Orchietti, you're going to cook it in salted water. It's really important to salt your pasta water, your potato water, your rice water before you cook those starches, because it really will lift the end flavor of the dish. The one thing you want to make sure, though, is that you reserve a little bit of that pasta water. So just like when you're making a pasta sauce on the stove, in order to increase its sort of velvet mouthfeel, to make it cling to the pasta, to give it a little bit of viscosity, always reserve a little bit of your pasta water. Okay, so I'm just going to start this. This might be a little bit loud, but I want to get this whipped up here. Perfect. Great. Now I didn't put any salt in here because I put in the miso. That's already salty. Now I am going to put my pasta water in. So I'm just going to put again about 3/4 of a cup of pasta water. And this might seem a little bit thin to you at first when you do it, but when you cook it in with the pasta, it's going to thicken up. So here we go. just noticed at the side here, I've got a little bit of probably cashew butter that's sticking to the inside of this. So I just want to get in there with my spoon and make sure that we get it all. But I'll just show you quickly like what that looks like. So it's creamy, and I am going to taste it. That nutritional yeast, man, does that knock the flavor out of the park. Okay, there we go. That's it. That is the sauce done. Right? And you can make this ahead of time and you can put it in the refrigerator. That would be a great thing to do. Now we're going to head to the stove, Trevor.
Well, we're all coming with you.
Oh, we're all coming with us. Okay, so I want to show you here ahead of time. This is what I did ahead of time, but I'm going to. So your Orchietti, these are the little Orchietti here. See, this is what they look like? And it means little ear. All pasta names mean something. So this means little ear because they look like little ears. And they're great because that little indentation there will soak up all the delicious cream sauce. So it's super, super yummy.
All right, Heather from the 9th floor is with us.
Hi, Heather from the 9th floor.
Generally eats plant-based, so this is right up her alley today.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so assume that we've boiled our pasta in salted water, and heavily salted water, like about 2 tablespoons of salt goes in there. Your pasta goes in, you cook it according to package directions, and the very last minute, you're going to throw in 1.5 cups of frozen peas, okay? So just put them in at the very last minute, enough time for them to sort of thaw, and then you're gonna scoop out some pasta water, right? Because you wanna make sure you have some for your sauce, and then drain it.
Okay. We have 1 minute.
1 minute.
Sam wants to tell us a vegan joke.
Okay, Sam. I'm just gonna put my shallots in. This is what you tell us. 1 second. We're gonna put the shallots in with the some neutral oil, so you can use canola or avocado oil, whatever you have in your kitchen. And this is what you do while your pasta's draining, just for a minute. Go ahead, Sam. Hit us with your vegan joke.
We've already got it. Why did the tofu cross the road?
Oh. I don't know.
To prove he wasn't chicken.
Ba-dum-bum. Sam, always with the humor. We love it. Okay, so we went in with a shallot, and you could use garlic here, you could use onion, but I always have shallots in my kitchen, and I just love the flavor that they impart to a dish. They're more nuanced than garlic. They're not quite as strong, and they're a little bit larger than the garlic clove. So you're just looking to sort of take the rawness out of there. And then, another one of my favorite veg is kale. You can use frozen kale here. Again, if you frozen veg are really easy to have all the time. It's a great sort of freezer staple to keep. But what I've done here, this is dinosaur kale, or that black Tuscan kale, and you can tell it's different because now I chopped this up. I should have saved you a piece to look at. But you can see the texture of it is quite different than the curly green kale. You could use whatever you have, but I love Tuscan kale. So I just wanted to quickly pop some of this into the pan and just get it wilting. Okay. So this is pasta dish, but it's chock full of all kinds of delicious veg. Oh, I don't know why I'm saving that. Okay, I'm going to salt this a little bit so you can just hang out there for a second. Just a quick salt. And it doesn't need to be cooked too long. And when you do it, your pasta will still be hot. So when you put your pasta in, it'll reduce a little bit more. Okay, there we go. So let's go in with our pasta here. So this is, mine's probably stuck together a little bit because you definitely don't want to rinse your pasta, especially when you're doing something like a cream sauce, because if you rinse it, you get rid of all those starches that sort of help to bind the sauce and make it velvety and smooth and creamy. All right, so we're just going to give this a quick stir and get that kale incorporated, and then I'm going to top it with the sauce. Now I have to say, I did make, just for you guys, I made a vegan Parmesan cheese, and I'm not going to show you how to make it today, but I'll talk about how you can make it at the end, so remind me. And then I'm going to share with you some of my favorite vegan cookbooks that I go to for inspiration. Okay, so this is ready for the sauce. I always like just by starting with about half of the sauce, just to get everything well coated. Come on, guys. If you're not salivating, I don't know what to say, because this is delicious. I made this stuff the other night for the family, and Trevor, you loved it.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So we'll go in with the rest of that. You might think, oh, that looks like a lot of sauce, but by the time you're going to want to cook this down just a little bit, just to get everything together, it does tend to soak up all the sauce. Now, yes, you can make leftovers. If you have a person that's eating later than everyone else, what you will find, just like any cream sauce, you'll find that it starts to sort of seize up on you and get a bit thicker. So you can just add a pinch or half a cup of water to sort of bring that back to a creamy state. Now the last but not least thing, I want to add a lot actually, of cracked pepper. What else could you add here? A little bit of hot sauce at the end would be delicious. Some lemon zest would be delicious, just to lift the flavor of everything. There you go. That's it. Now I'd want my kale to be cooked down just a little bit, but we have another recipe to get to, and I want to make sure we get to it. So, oh yeah.
Vegan parm. Oh my God, says Tamitha.
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay, so you ready? We're gonna talk about the vegan parm. Let's take this back over here before we start our next recipe. I'm gonna serve some up with I have to find the parm. Here we go. So there's lots of different ways that you can make vegan parm. I wish you guys could smell this. I could actually just eat this with a spoon. That's it, right there.
Oh, it all smells really good right now.
Yeah, I should turn that gas off. We don't want any, we don't want the firefighters come into the house, do we, Trev?
No.
No.
Random question.
Yes.
What's your favorite seasoning? Sam's been using a lot of cayenne pepper these days.
Yeah, you know what? I love heat, and I love a little bit of hot sauce or a little bit of lemon just at the end of cooking, because it just lifts the flavor of everything and makes it taste delicious. If you're always looking for something, you're like, I'm not quite sure, my dish needs something. Try cayenne, try hot sauce, try a squeeze of lemon. Try this vegan parm. So this vegan parm, search it up on the internet. There's tons of recipes. You start with a neutral nut. So I have cashews. You could also use hemp seeds. And then you put the star of the day today, Nutritional Yeast, in there, along with a little bit of garlic powder or onion powder, and you blitz it in the food processor, and what you end up is with this. And I like to keep, some of the nuts are still a little bit, you can see them a little bit. They're not completely pureed, and you want to make sure you don't take it as far as to make Parmesan cream, because the nuts will turn into cashew butter. But search the web, tons of recipes out there for vegan parm. All right, that is our first recipe. Done. Whew, gosh, it's hot in here, guys. We were on CP24 this morning, so we had an early start to the day. Just talking about strawberries, that was fun. Are we ready to go, Trev?
Next.
Okay.
I can't wait to get through that so I can eat this.
I know, this is going to be our lunch. I haven't had anything to eat today. Okay, so let's talk about a broccoli Caesar salad with my faux bacon bits. Okay. Off the top, let's talk about how I want to treat the broccoli. Absolutely, go ahead and buy yourself some pre-chopped broccoli in those bags. They're convenient, they're delicious. I love to use them. In fact, I used one for the other half of this salad. So here, I don't like to waste a lot of stuff, and I know what I like to do is I like to cut off the bottom of my broccoli, and then I'm gonna grab, I like to peel, well, I have to cut off these nubby little bits here first. And then I'm going to peel it so you just get the most tender part of the stem. So here we go. So you're just going to white there. There we go. And you can do this on the barbecue if you cut your broccoli the way I'm going to show you. But otherwise, put your oven up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Drizzle your spears with avocado oil or canola oil, whatever neutral oil you have. Those two take a lot of high heat, so that's why I use those in my kitchen. Now, for this salad, I'm going to show you here, I'm going to cut it in spears so you don't lose out.
Makes them look big and hearty.
No, yeah, exactly. And you could put that right on the barbecue like that. You might want to cut that one down the center. But then you don't lose any of that stock, right? You can use it, you can eat it. It's delicious. It tastes the exact same as the rest of the broccoli does. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it. We popped ours in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit of salt, and this is what it looks like when it comes out. You want to have that beautiful char on there because you're going to get a ton of flavor, and it'll add some nice complexity to this dish. Next, but not last, we're going to make the salad dressing. So Caesar salad dressing traditionally has egg yolks, anchovies, which aren't obviously vegan friendly. So I'm going to show you my quick Caesar salad vegan style. Again, you can make this with silken tofu as your base. You could use cashew butter to make it creamy. This is a really quick tip, and I think I'm going to use this measuring cup to make it in, since I already have some lemon juice in here, and this recipe does call for lemon juice. It also calls for, are you ready for it? Garlic hummus. So it's a 1/4 cup of garlic hummus. If you don't have garlic hummus, you can use plain hummus. Just make sure you put a small clove of garlic in there because you want that garlic flavor for sure. So we've got, garlic hummus, lemon juice. We're going to go in with some olive oil. Again, this recipe is at andreabucket.com, so you can get all the quantities there. A couple tablespoons of nice olive oil, right, for richness. Surprise, surprise. Nutritional Yeast, Trevor. And I'm just going to eyeball this, but the recipe itself calls for a tablespoon. Dijon mustard, a key ingredient in Caesar salad. Not too much. 2 tablespoons in this recipe. A dash of hot sauce. All the flavors, guys. Whatever hot sauce you have on hand. Definitely a pinch of salt, which is back here. Okay, and the last but not least, which I'm going to grab out of the fridge, some capers. So you want to just chop some capers and put them in there, although you could leave them out. Shall we leave them out today, or should we use them, Trevor?
If they're in the ingredient list, I'd say we use them.
Oh wow, this guy's bossy. All right, let's see if I can find them.
Okay, Mary McLeod is here. She says
Mary.
hello.
Hi. All right, here we go. So I'm just going to drain a little bit of water off the top there. And so this recipe calls for a tablespoon of capers minced. All right, and these are briny, they're salty, and they add a real beautiful punch of flavor. They're actually the bud of a flower, if you didn't know what a caper was. It's the bud of a flower that's been pickled.
What flower?
Oh, I don't know, do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure it's a specific nasturtium or something. I don't know. I'm making it up. And maybe I'm right. Sometimes I pull things out of there and I'm like, I don't know how I knew that. Okay, so that's the dressing. It makes about 2/3 of a cup. But just as we did the, parm, the vegan parm, I want to talk to you a little bit about vegan bacon. Vegan bacon bits, guys. We were talking about tofu earlier. So I want to introduce you to, if you haven't used it before, tempeh. So tempeh is another soya product. And what tempeh is, instead of using the milk, soy milk to be compressed into a tofu block, this is actually the soya beans that have been cooked and fermented. Fermented usually with koji, which is like, they inoculate it with koji. And it's fermented. And you can get different flavored ones, you can get smoked ones, but it's often used to replace bacon for vegan cooking. You can cut it in strips. I've crumbled it This recipe is on the website as well. We don't have time to show it to you today, but you take this whole block and you crumble it. You add tamari, which is like a soy sauce, so even a naturally fermented soy sauce would work. Maple syrup, smoked paprika. Smoked paprika is key because you want that smokiness of bacon. Then a little bit of onion powder, and you marinate it in a bag in the fridge, and then you fry it off in the frying pan for about 15 minutes. It takes a little time to make, but that you end up with these delicious vegan crumbly bacon bits. Again, check that recipe out. It's on my website. All right, let's assemble. Here's our broccoli. Guess what I'm having for lunch today? This is delicious. This is dangerous because I could eat this. I mean, it's not dangerous, but I could literally eat this whole plate of broccoli, and it's 1.5 heads. So that's quite a bit. Let's taste this. Zippity doo dah, guys. That is so good. So this would be great to share. Be great at a barbecue. What's nice about this is there's no, so you know, it's great to take on a picnic. You take all the components separately. You don't have to use all this sauce. You can reserve some later for dipping like sweet potato fries in there or whatever. Chips, great chip dip. And then we are going to garnish with our tempeh bacon bits. And smoky and simply delicious.
As Rosalie says, perfect for a midnight snack.
Ooh, yeah. This would be great. Even just as a dip. That's it, guys. That is our vegan extravaganza. It was a lot to do in a short period of time. I hope if you're vegan, you got some inspiration. I hope if you're an omnivore or a carnivore, you were inspired to include more plant-based recipes into your diet. Trevor, just zone in there. I want to show you 2 of my favorite vegan cookbooks. There's lots of them. I just grabbed 2 off my shelf, but Oshi Glows was great.
Whoa, yeah, that's come up there.
Sorry, Oshi Glows. Great website as well. Lots of plant-based food there. And then The First Mess. Beautiful book, beautiful recipes. Lots of inspiration. This one, great recipe for almond milk in there, where you don't have to use whole almonds. So you should check that out. That's it. If there's no questions, I am done. Thanks so much to the social movement at Weston for inviting me. Thanks for you for giving me a little bit of your time today and watching our vegan recipes. I hope everyone has a delightful weekend. Again, find these recipes at andreabucket.com, or you can go sign up for the newsletter. Have a great day. Bye-bye.